Today's guest is Tyger Kahn, author of the book, Intuition, Language of the Soul. Join us as she shares her near-death experience. Okay, welcome everyone to the Brighter Life Show. I am here with my guest, Tyger Kahn. Tyger, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Okay, so Tyger has written a book, The Intuition, Language of the Soul.
Yes.
And in the very first chapter, you spoke about a near-death experience. And that's what I really want to talk about today. And my first question is, what was the circumstance that led you to your near-death experience? Were you skydiving? I mean, what happened?
I get to the ER. They bring me back to triage, and they said to me, this is impossible. The test results are wrong. I go, well, what do you mean? And they go, your hematocrit said that you'd be unconscious, you wouldn't be speaking, and in some cases, you'd be dead. So I had this dream, and in this dream, I was guided to go to Seattle. They do a blood test, and that night, I literally go into my bed, and my heart is beating really hard. And so I go to sleep. Literally right before I so-called went to sleep, I thought, I'm going to die and no one's going to know why. I'm about to die. I just knew it. And so I think I'm falling asleep, but I start walking down this path, this complete silence, all ages, all races, men, women, children, and we're walking. And all of a sudden we start going up to this, I know it sounds cliche, but it's true, to a beautiful light. In my case, it wasn't just white. It was like electricity, like lightning, so, you know what I mean? Where it's like electrical violet. And so we were going up to this gate. And as we were going up, we got more and more, less physical and more into like beings of light. And there were gates. Honest to goodness, there were gates. And so I get off in a particular gate. There are different gates. So I get off into this gate and I go there. And by this time, our physical bodies were dissolving. And we were like really like spirits. And we were communicating through our hearts, and there was no words. And at the time, but I'm listening, and all I hear is Rabboni Shalom, which means master of all worlds. So I'm hearing this, and we're just kind of like moving. We're moving in this light. We're light. And I was like, oh my God, I've died. I do not want to be here. I felt I was still physical. I had something to do. I wanted to go back. I was really far away from Earth. I'm like, no, I can't be here. I'm not ready. And so I look for this place to hide. So I'm like, okay, where can I hide? And I made myself very, very small, like, in a ball. And I was crying and crying, please send me back. Please let me go back. Please let me go back. And the next thing you know, there was this beautiful woman, and her head was covered, in like a veil. She was wearing ancient clothes, and she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen in my life. And she comes up to me, and I'm crying, and she picks me up, and she holds me like I'm in her arms, and she kisses me, and I wake up. That moment that I was sent back, I was sent back with such a purpose.
So you died. I mean,
yeah.
And you knew at the time of your near-death experience that you had to come back because you had a purpose. What is your main purpose?
So I went back to my roots. I wrote this book, Intuition, Language of the Soul, and to really instill in people that, there is another part of this life when we leave. We know life here, but there is life beyond life. It's just different. It's in another dimension, in this place where there's, no jewels, no yachts, no credit cards, no jeeps. There's nothing except your emotions and your what you did or didn't do. And you can't, when you're there, if you have not completed what you came here to do, you feel pain because you want to go back and you want to fix it.
Oh.
So for me, one of the things I want to tell people is wake up. You know, life can stop at any moment. So many times people will come to you and they'll, you know, mind game you, or they'll try and tell you how to live your life, or even take your basic rights away, or not hear you, not understand you. And I really came back to tell people, listen, fight for your life, because you have one that we are consciously aware of. So do you really want to waste time with this, or this? You know, all that matters is, are we doing acts of kindness? And it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm going to just do flowery language. How about like just helping people out, you know, with actions? I'm all about actions. So to me, my action was writing a book, trying to help people medically stand up for themselves.
Okay, girl. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for being on the show. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, you know, learn more about you or your teachings, how can somebody get in touch with you?
TygerKahn.com.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And I
Thank you.
hope to have you back soon, because we have sort of, you know, the pharmaceutical companies and the medical industry.
Oh, yes.
In America and quite frankly around the world to talk about next time. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Goodbye, everybody.